Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another eMarketer Tech Talk, where we host amazing guests from all areas of media, ad tech, and MarTech. I'm Henry Powderly, VP of Content at Insider Intelligence. Today, we'll hear about how trusted data can help you benefit from the full potential of AI. I'm joined now by our special guests from Twilio segment. We have Jim Young, Senior Content Marketing Manager, and Kyle Turcotte, Senior Product Marketing Manager. Jim and Kyle have a great presentation for you, and afterwards we'll open it up for questions about what you've learned. So please use that chat window to submit questions for the Q&A. Now let's get started. Jim, over to you.
Thanks, Henry, and welcome everyone to this morning's session in which we explore insights from Twilio segment's third annual growth report to better understand how AI provides real ROI and accelerates competitive advantage. Like Henry mentioned, I'm Jim Young, Senior Content Marketing Manager at Twilio segment, and I'm thrilled to introduce my esteemed colleague, Kyle Turcotte. Kyle is a product expert who is committed to understanding the complex dynamics of customer data. His expertise in AI, marketing, and data-driven customer engagement positions him uniquely to guide today's conversation. Welcome, Kyle. Thanks for joining me today.
Hey, Jim. It's always a pleasure to discuss this ever-evolving landscape of growth and the exciting potential AI holds for businesses today. By the way, I just downloaded a copy of Twilio segment's new growth report for myself earlier this week, and there's some amazing insights in there this year. I recommend anyone that's tuning in today grab a copy for themselves.
Thanks, Kyle. Always appreciate praise for the growth report. It's a great read. My team worked really hard on it, and you should be able to download a copy during this webinar if you'd like to check it out for yourself. Before we get started, let's take a look at our agenda for today. We'll begin with an overview of key findings from the 2023 growth report. Then we'll get into our main discussion with a spotlight on customer AI and related AI strategies. And finally, if time permits, we should have time to take some questions from the audience. So to begin, I'd love to really set the stage here. The growth report is our yearly survey of leaders from customer experience, marketing, and product on the latest trends in customer engagement and emerging growth strategies. In this year's report, we explored what it means to grow sustainably in 2023 and how companies are using AI to do just that. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first major finding from the report is really to no one's surprise that AI is officially everywhere. In fact, we found that AI adoption has grown exponentially over the past year, with 88% of business leaders we surveyed using some form of AI technology in their organization. And while that's a big number, there's a persistent challenge, isn't there, Kyle? With all these advanced tools and technologies at our disposal, why does it still seem so hard for companies to truly engage with their customers?
Yeah, that's an excellent observation, Jim. And it's true. While this adoption of AI is surging, it's not always resulting in better customer relationships. We've seen a shift in many organizations. Companies have become largely system-centric instead of customer-centric. In an effort to optimize and improve processes, applications have been primarily designed to solve issues for specific departments.
And so in essence, what you're saying is that while businesses are trying to solve departmental issues, they're losing sight of the bigger picture, which is the customer.
Yeah, precisely. This system-centric approach leads to fragmented data, resulting in an incomplete or even disjointed view of the customer. So imagine having multiple puzzle pieces from different sets. You'll never get a clear image no matter how hard you try. That's the scenario many businesses find themselves in. And with patchwork solutions, there are inevitable workarounds which further complicate things.
And I guess that's why many marketing campaigns just don't hit the mark, right? Despite our best intentions, we're often shooting in the dark without a flashlight.
Yeah, exactly. Marketers have always aimed to curate the best experiences for their customers. But with this fragmented systems, personalization has become very generic. We've had to rely on broad assumptions and guesstimates about people's preferences. So the intent was there, but the systems weren't supporting the vision. It really underscores this importance of being customer-centric and having a unified data-driven perspective. And with the advancements in AI, hopefully we're moving in that direction.
Yeah, it sure seems like we are moving in that direction, Kyle. And Now, if we look at our next slide, it presents a picture of what best-in-class customer engagement should look like. And there's a few basic requirements on the checklist, right? One, the way you engage customers needs to be one-to-one, personalized and precise. Two, you need to be able to capture data anywhere and activate it everywhere to support use cases across your entire business. And finally, you need to be able to activate in real time and at scale. So you can always reach your customers at the right time and on the best channel for them.
Yeah, that's right. Your engagement needs to align with the realities of your customers. And the reality is that every customer is a complex individual with unique wants and needs that change moment to moment.
Definitely. And I'd like to stay on this topic as we move to our next slide and connect this model or this idea of customer engagement back to AI. If we look here, Kyle, we see what looks to be a complicated, complex diagram. But if you heard Jeff Lawson, Twilio's CEO this year at the Signal conference, it's all pretty simple, isn't it? Kyle, can you break down what we're looking at here and what it means for our audience?
Yeah, of course. So this is the engagement or data flywheel. Put simply, it's a model which represents the continuous cycle of customer data, AI, and customer engagement. It starts with perceiving. This is the first step, which means you are taking in the data and then reconciling customer records. The next step is to better understand and really know your customer. Then activation, which produces more data to feed back into the profile and then back into interactions again. But customer AI, what we call Twilio Segment's new set of AI capabilities, will supercharge this engagement flywheel. So customer data leads to better predictions, and generative AI tells companies how to interact with customers, automating the actions companies take with these predictions. And then this makes the flywheel spin faster with better predictions and engagement as it keeps going.
Yeah, Kyle, that's a fantastic breakdown of this flywheel. I think it's a really elegant metaphor to describe how, improved customer engagement is a virtuous cycle. And it makes me think about how this continuous cycle can be applied practically. So if we move to the next key finding from the report, it reveals that AI is also changing the marketing game, and 76% of businesses we surveyed are already experimenting with AI across their marketing channels. So if we bridge this concept of the engagement flywheel, how does customer AI fit into this paradigm shift, giving marketers a newfound advantage?
A great question. So the beauty of AI is that it's not just about automating processes. It's about giving marketers the power of data science directly at their fingertips. So imagine you're a marketer and you could immediately receive out-of-the-box predictions for a customer's likelihood to make a purchase or even churn, have the ability to build custom traits like gauging the likelihood of a customer using a promo code or referring a friend. Then, based on all this rich data, create predictive audiences with just a single push, streamlining this targeting process. So in essence, while AI is revolutionizing marketing, tools like customer AI ensure that marketers aren't left grappling with the intricacies of data science, but can rather harness its full power seamlessly.
Yeah, as a marketer and a content marketer at that, I don't have the technical expertise that a lot of other teams do. So I really could not be more excited about these developments and these new technologies kind of unleashing the power of data science and unlocking it for marketing teams. But Kyle, can you show us what this might look like in practice?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's break down the process. So with Segment, it all starts by collecting user events from our website, apps, or any other digital platforms. This includes actions like page views, product interactions, and even shopping cart activities. Once we have enough data, Segment uses machine learning to train a prediction model. This model identifies patterns and behaviors that indicate a user's likelihood to make a purchase. We then use this model to define what we call predictive traits. In this case, we're looking at traits that signal users' readiness to buy. These traits could range from the frequency of product page visits, duration of interactions, to recent activities like adding items to a cart. Now, with these predictive traits in hand, Segment allows us to build an audience. For instance, we can create an audience of users who show a high score for our readiness to buy trait. This audience can then be activated across various marketing platforms, whether we're reaching out via email campaigns, personalized web content, or retargeted ads. We're ensuring that our efforts are targeted towards users who are most likely to convert. The beauty of this approach is it's not static either. As we gather more data and insights, our prediction models can be refined and our audience segments can be further optimized, all in real time.
So in essence, Kyle, what we're doing is taking the guesswork out of marketing, right? We're not just throwing out a broad net, hoping to catch potential buyers. And instead, with these predictive traits, we're casting a precision targeted line, right? Where the fish are biting most. I want to expand on something you mentioned about audiences. Customer AI also includes predictive audiences, along with predictive traits, which provides marketers with 5 pre-built audiences leveraging the prediction models we just discussed. And these predictive audiences are built to inspire new campaign ideas for marketers and help you quickly create predictive AI audiences in just a few clicks. So these 5 templates, they include ready to buy. These are audiences of customers who are most likely to make a purchase. We have long shots. These are folks that have maybe previously interacted with your brand, but aren't currently engaged. High LTV. These are audiences of customers with high predictive lifetime value. Potential VIPs, audiences of recently active customers with high predictive lifetime value, as well as high likelihood to purchase. So if you've ever seen Willy Wonka, these are your golden geese. And finally, we have dormant. So these are maybe the lowest value audience, but it's kind of good to keep a pulse check. These are customers that are inactive and who are unlikely to make a purchase. I'd like to lean on you again, Kyle. Can you give our audience a better idea of the practical applications of predictive audiences?
Yeah, definitely. Let's delve into this fascinating use case where we can see how powerful Segment's predictive audiences can be. So for this strategy, we want to build a predictive audience of ready-to-buy users. These are the customers primed for a purchase based on predictive modeling. They've shown patterns, behaviors, and interactions which align with customers about to make that purchase. This audience is golden, and we want to make sure we're capitalizing on their readiness. Fortunately, Talon One, one of our 450 plus destinations, allows us to generate dynamic coupons that can be tailored based on user behavior, purchase history, preferences, and more. So let's say a user from our ready to buy audience has been frequently checking out a specific category of products. Talon One can generate a coupon specifically for that category, offering them an irresistible incentive to finalize that purchase. Once these dynamic coupons are generated, they're dispatched to our ready to buy audience. This can be through personalized emails, push notifications, or any other channel most effective for the audience.
That sounds like an incredibly simple way to build a highly personalized marketing strategy with predictive audiences. And I like to shop online myself, and when I get one of those coupons, I'm quick to take advantage of it. So thanks, Kyle. If we move on to the next slide, we also announced a number of upcoming generative AI capabilities in tandem with predictive AI that will help automate and personalize the interactions companies have with customers, making individual personalized engagement possible and easier at scale. Currently, marketers spend massive amounts of time writing, designing, and building campaigns and customer journeys. I know I do. So imagine not having to build journeys or emails the traditional way, the time-consuming way, but being able to enter your campaign goals in plain text and having the system create that email or campaign for you. Because of real-time engagement signals, imagine your campaigns learning and auto-optimizing too. For example, if you're a marketer using our generative journey tool at a global bank, you could enter a text prompt saying, increase Gen Z loan applications by segmenting user journeys by predictive LTV. Then you could send low lifetime value users a pay-as-you-go email campaign to try to encourage a conversion. And you could bucket high LTV users into a travel rewards points campaign. They're more likely and have a higher propensity to spend. So with Customer AI, you can automatically build those complex prediction-powered journeys within minutes, which I think is really a game changer for any marketer. But I think this is just scratching the surface, right, Kyle?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great example, but as you can see, there's a ton of opportunity here. You could look at some acquisition use cases, such as building a lookalike ad audience based on the top percentile of users who are most likely to make a purchase. You could suppress ads to low value audiences or those with low likelihood to make a purchase. You could personalize ad offers to audiences of high value customers and customers most likely to use the promo code. Then looking at conversion, we could create medium likelihood to purchase audiences and send them more targeted marketing to drive conversions. There's upsell and cross-sell opportunities for customers based on predictive LTV or likely to purchase with personalized offers. And then looking at retention, you could do a win back campaign to people who say have high likelihood to churn, who have not completed an order or viewed a web page in the last 30 days, sending targeted messages or special offers to drive them back to your site to hopefully make a new purchase. You could do a retention campaign that's auto-triggered, say when a customer moves into a low likelihood to purchase audience 30 days after making a purchase. You could also do VIP or loyalty campaigns comprised of customers with the high propensity to purchase. So really, as you can see, we're just scratching the surface and there's a ton to unlock here.
Yeah, it's kind of mind-boggling the possibilities here that AI unlocks for marketers, from acquisition to retention. I think all the strategies you mentioned are useful in some capacity for different business objectives. So it's really exciting to see how organizations continue to implement these strategies and unlock the full power of AI. And staying on this idea of tangible business outcomes driven by AI. A recurring theme in the report really stands out, doing more with less. And I think this has really been the anthem of the past 18 months with amid economic uncertainty. We've heard a lot of businesses prioritize efficiency, trying to do more with less, but it's not easy. There's kind of an inherent contradiction there, doing more with less. And I think one of the most exciting possibilities of AI is really allowing organizations to find time or cost savings. And from your perspective, Kyle, would you agree with this sentiment that AI is indeed a catalyst for efficiency or optimization?
Yeah, absolutely, Jim. I mean, the beauty of AI lies not just in its ability to predict or automate, but really to amplify efficiency in ways we couldn't imagine a few years ago. Let me give you an example. So over the past decade segment, we've assisted more than 25,000 companies in unifying and activating their data, paving the way for AI-powered strategies. So take this example from Neurona. Leveraging our platform, they built a recommendation engine which amplified their conversions by a whopping 50%. And another customer, Health First, they were able to fast track enrollments through optimizing their outreach channels, all backed by the power of machine learning. So in response to your question, Jim, yes, AI doesn't just hold the promise, but has been consistently delivering on that promise of doing more with less. And at Twilio segment, we're proud to be at this forefront of that transformation.
Yeah, thanks, Kyle. That's really invaluable perspective. It's always nice to see kind of tangible, concrete business outcomes that have been driven by AI, and love all these examples you shared. Which seamlessly brings us to our next slide. Here we can see Chris Kohler, Chief Marketing Officer at Box, highlighting how they've used predictive traits for audience segmentation, identifying who might attend in-person events, or who's more inclined to make a purchase. And in this quote, Chris emphasizes how technology places marketers at the epicenter of the AI-driven era, transforming customer engagement and retention. And Kyle, I think this sentiment from a leading CMO like Chris really reiterates what you just shared. it's not just about technology, but how it enables marketers to be more effective and efficient in their efforts. So with that, I'd like to look at our last key finding from the report to drill down on the final piece of the puzzle, which is quality data. 71% of our survey respondents felt like AI could be more useful with access to higher quality data. Kind of a no-brainer there. Your AI is really only as good as your data. So from your perspective, Kyle, to what extent is quality data essential to organizational success when it comes to AI?
Yeah, so Jim, as you well know, AI is only as effective as the data that fuels it. So trusted customer data is what truly unlocks the promise of AI. Many CTOs are striving to keep data in one place to reduce security risks. By eliminating data duplication and keeping it centralized, businesses can greatly reduce vulnerabilities while also building better AI models.
Definitely, Kelly. I think that's top of mind for a lot of technical officers. But how does Twilio segment actually help businesses achieve this?
Yeah, let me put it in a little simpler terms. So typically when companies want to analyze their data, they need to copy it from where it's stored to different tools or locations. This can be time consuming, risky, and often leads to multiple versions of the same data, which can also get confusing. What we've done with our zero copy architecture through our collaborations with Databricks and Snowflakes is essentially eliminate the need to move data around. Now customers using Segment can look into their data right where it lives, whether that's in a data warehouse or a data lake. Think of it like being able to read a book in the library without having to check it out. You get the information you need without the risk of losing the book or having to return it later.
That's a great analogy, Kyle. And I think this makes everything much faster because there's no waiting around for data to be copied. It's also safer as there's less chance of data getting lost or falling into the wrong hands when it's not being moved around. And finally, it saves businesses the hassle of having to set up and look after these data copying processes, which can be quite complex and costly. So I think to summarize your point, this new approach of zero copy architecture really simplifies how companies interact with their data, making it quicker, safer, and easier to manage, which are all kind of prerequisites for unlocking machine learning or AI tools. So we drill down a little bit more on this idea of safer. What are some of the ways that we can ensure that AI is used both responsibly and that it has kind of a foundation of trust supporting it?
Yeah, great question, Jim. So Twilio is deeply committed to building AI safely and responsibly. And there are three trust principles at the core of this mission. The first one is to be transparent around our use of AI, ensuring our customers have proper data controls. Second, we want to exclusively partner with AI vendors who share our commitment, guiding our customers to use AI in ways that respect privacy, maintain data security, and reduce risks of biases and potential harms. And three is monitoring our AI utilization to proactively address potential issues.
It seems like this emphasis on trust and proactive monitoring should really be the standard for companies on the AI frontier. And this harkens back and reminds me of another announcement at Signal recently, where there's a significant focus on clarity and transparency for AI utilization. Specifically, the introduction of Twilio AI nutrition fact labels. Kyle, can you dive deeper into what this is for our audience and help them understand what we're seeing here?
Yeah, so essentially, we recognize the need for a standardized, transparent information about our AI features. So we came up with this AI nutrition facts, which provide a comprehensive view into features like privacy, model type, and even detailed breakdown of how data is used to train and monitor each model. And yes, every product powered by Twilio Customer AI will have one of these labels. What's more, we've launched a generator at nutrition-facts.ai for businesses to create their own nutrition facts, emphasizing transparency and trust across the industry.
I love to see how Twilio is paving the way on this. And I think other companies delving into the world of AI should maybe take note. Plus, as an avid snacker, I always make sure to check the nutrition labels on just about everything. A lot of junk out there. But if we can try to bring these ideas together, I want to leave our audience with a really solid understanding of why quality of good data is incredibly important, but good data alone maybe sometimes isn't enough. On this slide here, we can see how an open system that is flexible and adaptive to a company's unique needs as it relates to data is critical as well. Can you paint a picture of what this all means and walk us through this, Kyle?
Absolutely. So good data is crucial, like you said, but it's not the whole story. Flexibility and adaptability are equally important. So in today's fast-paced world, businesses need to be agile. They need systems that can evolve with them, and that's precisely where a customer data platform shines. An API-first approach is built for integration and scalability. So with over 450 pre-built connectors, businesses can plug into a CDP-like segment seamlessly in their existing MarTech stacks, ensuring that they can activate their customer data quickly and effortlessly. But it's not just about plugging in, it's about adapting and evolving. Whether a business is looking to pull data from SaaS products into a data warehouse or activate existing data with reverse ETL, it's important to be able to start anywhere and activate everywhere. This means businesses can move fast, scale efficiently, and adapt their strategies in real time to meet their ever evolving business goals.
Definitely. I think this diagram here illustrates it perfectly. With a foundation-like segment or really any strong customer data infrastructure, all the rich signals from your customers should be collected across every touch point, creating a complete and unified and identity-resolved customer profiles. These profiles then become the fuel for AI-powered marketing automation, helping you drive personalized experiences and enhancing customer engagement. So the takeaway here is that AI, when coupled with a deep understanding of customer data, becomes more than just a tool. It's really a game changer in understanding the human element behind the data. And when you have a truly holistic view of the customer journey, it opens up avenues for AI that go far beyond automation and analytics. We touched on a few of those use cases there, where we're talking about creating experiences that are so personalized and timely that customers feel like we're reading their minds. That should be the standard for all marketers. That level of personalization should be table stakes. So I guess I'm really excited to see how this technology is going to evolve over this year, next year, and maybe the next 10 years. But with that, we're just about at the end of our discussion. I think we might have a few minutes left. Kyle, it's been an absolute delight to discuss how businesses are thinking about sustainable growth in 2023 and how AI is unlocking opportunities for growth at an exponential rate.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. It's always a pleasure to discuss this stuff with you as well. And can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, appreciate you, Kyle. And I do think we have a few more minutes left. I know a lot of questions have come in from the audience, so would love to hear them and do our best to answer. I'll toss it back to you, Henry.
Awesome. Great job, Jim and Kyle. Thank you so much for sharing all of that data, all of those insights. I love the nutrition labels. Those are wildly creative. I can't wait to play with those. You also gave a really great reminder at the beginning to keep focused on the customer, even when exploring all of this great new potential from AI. And I think that's really great advice. We do have some questions have come in. So let's start with the first one. Kyle, for those just starting on their AI journey and are unsure about the quality of their data, can you recommend first steps to ensure data readiness for AI-powered marketing?
Yeah, I think, I mean, it comes down to a lot of aspects. You want to make sure that it's formatted the same, you know, you're speaking the same language. I think a lot of times data sets are different because they're coming from different sources. So it kind of does talk to the power of our segment CDP and kind of unifying, collecting, and honestly cleaning up that data so that it can be used within the same manner. So I think just probably first step, just make sure your data is talking the same language. That it's unified, that it's structured correctly. And then from there, you're able to get it into kind of an AI tool or downstream destination. But that's definitely something that Segment can help with.
Excellent. Speaking of connectors, we do have a question from the audience here about direct mail. Maybe you can speak to quickly. Can you speak to direct mail as a potential connection or destination for AI? Are you guys, is the segment plugged into any direct mail platforms?
Yeah, so from my understanding, I don't think we actually have a native direct mail destination. Um, So there obviously is potential there. I mean, you can treat it like any other channel. So you could do personalization through direct mail via AI. You could set up a journey in any other way, or one of your customer engagement tools that has a direct mail integration, and have it trigger based on a predictive trait, for example, and really just treat it like SMS, MMS, push, WhatsApp. But Segment, I don't believe we actually have a direct mail integration.
Got it. Thanks for answering that. Jim, this one's for you. Given that AI is now becoming a need to have in marketing, what skills or mindsets should marketers focus on developing to make the most out of these tools?
Yeah, thanks, Henry. So I think in the era of AI-driven marketers need to blend, I think, creativity with data literacy. I think it's often referred to as a black box, a lot of machine learning models or AI, because it can be opaque and difficult to kind of understand the mechanisms that are churning out these predictions or generating walls of text in a large language model. So being comfortable around data, understanding its nuances, and making data-driven decisions, I think is going to be key. There's a lot of resources out there. Plugging my own team, content marketing at Twilio Segment, we created a guide called 10 Essential Steps to Build an AI-Ready Organization. And it talks about data literacy, data quality, kind of all the prerequisites for a strong AI strategy. There's also, I think, a LinkedIn Learning course for marketers all about generative AI that was just released as well. So a lot of opportunities for marketers to pick up these skills, embracing a mindset of experimentation as a last piece, I think is going to be crucial too. AI is providing a lot of opportunities for testing and learning. It can help you optimize your campaigns, A/B test, and figure out kind of the strongest approach. And so I think while AI is a powerful tool, it's the human touch, and it's the kind of culture and aspiration to learn, I think, are going to be kind of central.
Excellent. And let's stay with you, Jim. Everybody has their opinion on the future of AI. So I guess the question here is, what is yours? How do you see the
Yeah.
future of AI in marketing, especially with rapidly evolving technology and shifting consumer expectations?
Well, thanks, Henry. I saw Terminator when I was perhaps too young, and for a long time I was afraid of Skynet and AI and robots taking over. But I think I've become a lot more optimistic since then. I think the future is really promising. So as AI technology progresses, I think we'll see more personalized and immediate marketing interactions driven by real-time data and AI-powered insights. And as for the consumer, I think those expectations are already rising based on kind of the infancy of AI. So personalized experiences were already table stakes, but now that AI is powering marketing, making it faster, more efficient, and more personalized, I think we're going to see consumers expect more out of businesses, and those generic personalized experiences or those generic ads you see scrolling Instagram are just not going to be enough to draw the attention of kind of the customer. So I really see that as being the first major impact of marketing, and really beyond that, it's hard to say. I think it's really a paradigm shift, and we're seeing kind of the early version of the technology, and it's really hard to fathom what it might look like in 10 years.
Not Terminator. We agree on that.
Fingers crossed.
All right, Kyle, how about you take this one? With the introduction of zero copy architecture, how do you ensure data security, especially when querying data warehouses or data lake data sets directly?
Yeah, so data security is paramount for us. With the zero copy architecture, the advantage is that the data isn't duplicated or moved, so reducing the potential points of vulnerability in the first place. So when querying data directly from a warehouse or data lake, we use the secure connection protocols and ensure that only authenticated and authorized users can access the data. And this is done with our partnership with industry leaders like Databricks and Snowflake, which means that we are leveraging best-in-class security practices at every step.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Kyle. And we have time for one more question. And then Kyle, why don't you take this one? Considering the importance of transparency in AI operations, how does Twilio segment handle situations where AI predictions or insights are not accurate or misaligned with business expectations?
Yeah, so again, transparency is about clarity. It's not just in operations, but also in outcomes. If AI predictions aren't aligning with expectations, it's essentially first to understand why. It could be a data quality issue, like I talked about earlier, model training gaps, or external factors that aren't well considered. We provide tools that allow businesses to deep dive into the model, understand its inputs, and adjust as necessary. So we also believe in continuous learning and improvement. So feedback loops are vital. And finally, I think it's important to maintain an open channel of communication with our customer. The goal is to ensure that any misalignments are addressed promptly and effectively.
Excellent. Well, Jim, Kyle, thanks so much for being here. The content has been great. Thank you for answering all the questions from our audience. We really appreciate it. Let me tell you a little bit about what's going on eMarketer's media channels. You can register for more live analyst and tech talk webinars and view the on-demand version of our Attention Virtual Summit on our events page at emarketer.com/events. On the audio side, don't forget to tune into Behind the Numbers, eMarketer's daily podcast. And finally, please do check out our newsletters. Please keep an eye on your email for the link to today's recording. And once again, thank you for your time. Thanks to Jim and Kyle and the whole team at Twilio Segment and our Studio II crew, the production team behind the scenes, for making this webinar possible. We'll see you on the next Tech Talk.